Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. As I'm walking the noisy and busy streets of TST shopping district here in Hong Kong, and I will show you a few dealers around here. It changes quite a bit. Quite a few dealers have shut down their shops in the past couple of years. Some new ones have come up, but some of them have been there for a long time. I wanted to answer the most common question I am asked in the comments and in email in particular. Which dealers do I recommend in Hong Kong? This is the one you all ask me. Your second most asked question is where to find this or that brand. And it's like, how can I guarantee that when you visit Hong Kong, that particular model you want in the condition you hope for will be at this or that location for a price you can agree to for certain? And guys, you realize that I have a day job and can't possibly spend time researching and updating for free this sort of info. So Google is your friend, and I always recommend to anyone visiting Hong Kong or living in Hong Kong to use the carousel with two L's at the end app, and you'll find all the listings from the professionals and the amateurs like me in one convenient place with the addresses. Your third most asked question, by the way, is are the watches genuine? And a lot of people actually just comment, oh, these are all fakes. And I can touch on that a little bit. The main thing is that dealers don't vanish overnight and have as much to lose buying a fake as you would. They'll be there the next day to face the consequences. So yes, most of the stuff, all the stuff you see on my videos is genuine. Of course, I can't check every single watch. And of course, the older a watch is, the more chances it is that it can be retouched or parts have been changed. And of course, we know very well there are very good replicas now made in China. Honestly, if you can't tell the difference, maybe just buy at the AD. I've seen very good replicas. If you don't have the real one next to it, it can be difficult. Sometimes you might even need to open the movement and know a little bit your stuff. For example, silicone hairspring might not be there on the replica while it is on the watch, and it's often the brand new models from Rolex mostly, but also Patek that you can find replicas of. But yeah, any dealer worth his salt can easily spot those and offers. Often, they can see who is selling to them, and it's not going to be the kind of person you want to meet at midnight on Dead End Street. So nobody's forcing you to buy anything, right? Now, most importantly, the main question: which dealer do I recommend? I have mentioned names of dealers in my past videos, but really the watch condition matters more than the dealer. Like everything in life, you get what you pay for. If you want a nice environment, a knowledgeable, well spoken, English speaking salesperson, a guarantee on the proper functioning of the watch, an extended warranty that any repair will be done by a brand approved watchmaker, a professional appraisal of the condition, including the polishing that might have been done and the replacement parts they could find, well, you gotta pay for all that. So, at the higher end of the spectrum of Hong Kong dealers, I suppose you would find the 1916 company, the old watchbox, or Wrist Check. You might have heard of them. They're present on social media, who welcome you in a fancy lounge and do things by the book. Check the watches. They have a very good watchmaker, and they offer a longer warranty. And I think the 1916 company will often service the watches, and of course they provide the CPO program of Rolex. But if you want none of all that, you like a bit of adventure, then you will have to factor in all the risks into the price. And often that's what buyers don't understand. They ask for further discount on something that's already discounted because of that. So I've bought watches from individuals in the subway and had absolutely no problems with them, and I got the best deals that way. And yes, in Hong Kong you do, I think, find the best deals because there's so much stock available. I've also bought expensive watches from well-established dealers which broke the next day. So there is not one single dealer I can recommend because they all work the same way. All dealers will give you 6 months guarantee. However, once they have your money, their warranty is not the brand's warranty. You don't know their watchmaker. He might be good, he might not be that good, and even if he's good, he might not be able to fix properly the watch. Maybe it will break 2 months later when you've left Hong Kong, and then you'll probably need to spend more to fix the watch. And do you even want a dealer to service themselves a watch they just acquired before selling it to you? Poke into something they have no qualification to poke into. I've bought more than one watch knowing I would probably need to have it serviced by the brand almost immediately. I just factor that in the purchase price. It happened to me with an AP Royal Oak 36mm annual calendar. And it happened to me with my beloved Chopard Time Traveler, which, by the way, I brought to a very good watchmaker, and he was honest with me. He said, I need I think he needed a special instrument to apply the right torque to readjust a part of the movement, and only the brand has that. And to be honest, the AD, the brand, charged me less than he was charging me, or just about exactly the same price. So much better to have it done at the authorized dealer in that case, because it's a very specific watch. And of course, you get a relationship with the brand, and then they give you the paper, and that too has a lot of value once you have serviced a watch, to have that piece of paper and a warranty on their work, which you might not get from all independent service places, but there are some very good ones here, by the way, in Hong Kong. So once again, if you can't take the heat, just buy at the authorized dealer. Simple. If you get a big discount from retail, there's a reason on a second-hand watch. The watch is not new. You don't know what happened in its life, which includes big shocks or getting dropped that will impact the proper functioning of some parts little by little. Sometimes it's just insidious, right? It's just a little knock, and little by little a gear will grind, and eventually the timekeeping will go wrong, and maybe something will go very wrong, and some parts will have to be changed, not just cleaned. So all you know when you go to a dealer is what's in front of you. Now, one word of wisdom: if you are shopping for pleasure, don't buy a liability. You know where I'm going with this. Now, when it comes to polishing, that's a slippery slope. Sometimes a light polish is fine. Most times I would prefer no polishing at all. And my own watches, when I have them serviced, if I prefer not to have them polished. And if I sell them, I will tell the guy, well, I haven't have it polished. I could have, but at least you know you have the original metal, and then you can decide. You can wear it a bit, enjoy it, put a few knocks, and then you polish it when you service it, if you want. I prefer that approach. But of course, many watches you're going to see have been polished, in particular in Japan, but also here. So most dealers will not give you a straight answer if you ask if the watch was polished either by them or before they bought it, and they might not be able even to know that it has been polished or not. Now bring a loupe, of course, and use the phone macro. With the iPhone, it's very, very close, and compare with brand new pictures, the best thing you can do. And of course, again, it's a second-hand watch, So what if it was a bit polished? As long as it looks good and fine, it's fine, right? A watch might have been serviced by the brand and lightly polished. In the case of Rolex, they sure will not laser back any metal, any material, and they will definitely destroy lugs. So if they start polishing a vintage or neo-vintage GMT Master, they will go to town because they want to remove everything. I had a much better service by Cartier. They said, okay, we can do a light polish. It was my wife's watch, which we got second hand, and she never asked me to polish it. And they did a light polish, but they didn't try to go all the way to the deepest dings, which removes a lot of metal around. It's a gold watch, so I think they did right by they refreshed it without over polishing it. So yeah, if it's a vintage watch, for example, you hold up the watch and assess how symmetrical the lugs are, because Rolex will not keep them symmetrical at all. I had that case with a GMT Master Fat Lady, for example. So in general, a fresh or non-polished strikes you as being just right, and if it doesn't look like a luxury angle, bevel, then it's probably not anymore. These days, though, pro refinishers that advertise on Instagram can do high level AP Royal Oak like finishing. I know it's not nuclear science, right, in the first place, but that's where it gets really tricky. Even AP won't be able to guarantee your used Royal Oak wasn't refinished at some point if it was done as good as they would do it. And if cosmetic condition wasn't hard enough to assess, of course, mechanical condition is tough. Most dealers will also be rather vague and give you no proper health bill on the watch. They'll just say, yeah, it's running. And then you have to go with that. So, of course, I will always unscrew the crown, wind the watch. I've had 2 or 3 high complication top brand watches break right in front of me at a dealer. Imagine if I had bought those things. Maybe it would have worked for 5 minutes there in the shop, and the next day, bang, big service bill. And do you want a Patek Grand complication to be serviced by a non-approved watchmaker? In that case, by the way, they did send it to Patek, and they sold it a bit more expensive afterwards. So they did right by the watch, which is heartwarming. Ideally, you would want the watch to go on a time grapher before buying, so you can factor in the need for immediate service at least. If you research a bit, good manufacturers actually say what amplitude a healthy movement will have at a full wind after 1 day wind in this and that position. Often, a poorly or not thoroughly serviced movement will only be adjusted in 1, perhaps 2 or 3 positions. So some of the other COSC chronometer positions will be totally off. And that's bad. And that's one important thing, right? You buy a COSC certified movement. At the time of it was produced and adjusted, yeah, it was COSC certified. But 5 years later, without service, it's not anymore. And after the service, even from the brand, is it still COSC certified? They're not going to send it back to COSC. They're going to readjust it. So that's a whole different discussion. But keep that in mind. I mean, you're buying a used watch, 10-year-old, and you think, oh yeah, it's a chronometer. Well, no, it's not anymore, probably. So for service, I can warmly again recommend Y and N. Y and N watch partners. They are on Instagram, and my chronograph, my Frank Mueller, was adjusted by them to 6 positions. I don't think inside is a Le Mania, like Moonwatch caliber. None of them has ever been adjusted so well without me even asking. And it runs on the money, while it was a total train wreck when I got it, even though I got it NOS, new old stock, 2 years after its original retail. That shows you never know when it comes to those fine calibers. Now, let's take a little breather. Many of us just want to enjoy a watch for a year or 2 and then resell it. So if there is a, I don't know, $2,000 service bill in that interval, the hobby, it gets very expensive. So that's something I keep in mind if I just want to enjoy a watch for a while. I'm careful that I get it, at the right time, like maybe 3-year-old, not 7 year old. It can make a big difference because, yeah, after a few years, those wheels are gonna need a bit of attention. Having said that, there is something nice about rescuing a nice watch and giving it the proper care it deserves and then passing it on. It's also part of being an enthusiast, so it's up to you. But know that many watches get sold because they have a mechanical problem in the first place. And if it's a chronograph, it can be after running a few minutes for had that problem. So be wary of watches sold, as I said, 5 years and over ago that don't have a service bill with them. And remember, most watches are not as durable as Rolex. Just, it's not. An ETA, it's very solid, but it will at one point need a thorough service. For example, to take a very basic caliber, but if you go for really nice, expensive calibers, then with complications, that's exactly what you're buying, a complication in your life. Again, if you are shopping for pleasure, don't buy a liability. So now, personalities. I've bought from various dealers. If the person across the desk is unpleasant, sometimes some of them just don't want to give you the time of the day. No pun intended. I'll take a look and walk away unless the watch is amazing and they clearly do not value it as high as it should be. Most of the time, the people, though, are kind enough, especially here in Hong Kong, and some will even surprise you with how forthcoming they are. For example, the guys at Universal Vintage 1954 are very nice and price things right. So that's one dealer with 2 locations in Mongkok that you have seen on my walks that I enjoyed buying from. I'm wearing actually the watch from there quite often that I bought a Vacheron Constantin overseas. And they often get much more original stocks than just Rolex. So it can be daunting, I have to admit, to get inside the shop, to be honest. Even for me, who go on all those watch safaris and show you all those things, don't think that I just go in there all the time. I often don't go even if I'd like to see a particular watch. Many shops don't vibe great from the outside, and others feel more easy to get in. Some shops have a simple door, usually with a doorbell. Some shops have a double security entry, so they can be they can control the traffic better. And some shops you can't see from the outside. I don't like those so much. Some shops you can see clearly inside. Some shops have a family vibe. You can see, some of them are busy. Some of them you'll be alone. So there's just very different things. I kind of like the little ones, the ace in the hole that you see in some of my videos, and sometimes they have the coolest watches that Jaeger LeCoultre, Vacheron, and that's pretty cool. So you can watch back all my safaris in Mongkok, in Causeway Bay, in Central. That's mostly where the shops are. There's a few a bit further out as well. And yeah, I get a bit of a feel of which shops sell what brand. Again, it's difficult for me to tell you where to find, the most, I don't know, Breitlings, this and that chronograph. Literally, it's difficult. So I hope I've answered without answering because, once again, I can't really recommend one. Obviously, if you want to buy F. Pigeon, the 1916 company specializes in that. Same for the Bethune, they own the company. And you'll find that prices all over town are pretty much the same for F. Pigeon. And they're very expensive everywhere. And by the way, you can also buy them directly now from the auction houses and super impressive shops, beautiful setting. For example, here at in the landmark luxury shopping mall in Central, you have Sotheby's, and you can buy your Journe, you can buy some esoteric independence as well. But as we know well, the auction houses are even worse than dealers at checking the watches and providing any type of warranty. So don't be fooled by the rocks that they got. It doesn't mean that the watch itself is void of any default. So there you go. Make sure you don't buy a complication, a liability, a problem. Factor in. That's most important. Factor in the fact that it's not a brand new watch. Simple as that. So many guys just, if I'm selling a watch, will ask for some discount and things, and I'm like, I'm already offering the best price because it's not brand new, because it's missing the box or the papers. That too I haven't mentioned. Yeah, box papers. I've bought some of my best buys are naked. And I kind of like it because then I just have to worry about the watch. I don't have to worry about preserving that faux leather type of box, which decomposes itself. I don't have to worry about safekeeping the paper. But when you resell, it's more difficult. So you have to factor that in. Some dealers won't even touch a watch that doesn't have the original papers because, of course, it could have been stolen. But at the same time, many people, if it's 10 or 20-year-old watch, they don't care for those things. They would toss them away. They would buy the watch and they would travel away without them. And also to avoid any risk at back home when they pass the customs, they don't want to be caught with those things. If I was them, I would at least mail the papers, but that's why so many watches in China are coming back now to Hong Kong without any box and paper, naked, as we call them. Doesn't mean the watch is bad, but at the same time, stolen watches also come naked, right? And well, that's the way it is. So there you go. Let me know what you think. I hope I've answered the questions that you had. Again, no dealer is better than the other. The watch matters the most. Some dealers are pleasant, some are less pleasant, and then you can go to higher end dealers that I've mentioned if you want to have a more luxurious experience. You buy a luxury watch, you want that experience, and you get it when you buy brand new at the shop. You get it if you go to the lounge of the 1916 company for sure. And they're very nice people and very passionate about what they do. Often you're not going to get that if you go on the streets like me to try to get the best deal. But that's also the fun of the hobby, right? Is to find that little shop that has that watch that doesn't belong there and that belongs to you. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed all this and these. This little walk around the streets of TST, Chim Chat Choi. I always say it wrong, so I'm very sorry to the Hong Kong guys. Tell us again how to say it properly in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. And do know that if you send me an email to ask me again where you should go shopping, I will refer you to this very video. So this one was special for you guys. Bye bye.